with
here
with with many events.
with many events. Are you ready to start, mister?
Yes, teacher, I'm ready.
Alright, let's see here. I can tell you, like, I've been serious about starting like something like this for a long time. So serious that, like, let's see here. Let me show you. I actually made an intro. But it's terrible. I was gonna like try to improve it with artificial intelligence. For example, here. Yeah, that's my intro. Welcome to Descent into Madness, where we talk about the strangest topics, the supernatural, the weird things, and well, today I have Mr. Herman. Yes, we'll just go with his first name.
My,
And
my, my first name, yes,
yes, you ready?
I'm ready.
Like, I'm trying to inform Mr. Herman about the weirdness of the world. And like last class, I told you about the the dollar sign, right? And
Yes.
the pyramid that exists in the background. And the all-seeing eye. Let me just bring up a photo because like it's the dollar sign. Why do you think that thing exists in the back of the dollar sign? Why? Because like this is America's not Egyptian.
Can you repeat the question, teacher? I can't hear well.
No? Oh my gosh. Why do you think
Huh?
there is a pyramid in the back of the dollar sign? Like, what's your opinion? Because for me, it's strange.
I think it's not a pyramid. Uh, how do you say? La pirámide esté ahí,
Appears there. Like, appears there.
appears there.
Appears there. What you?
I think there will be a reason that uh, that symbol appears in the dollar.
But yeah, but like,
The,
what is your opinion? Like, why?
I think that's the I don't remember, but I think that is the Illuminati symbol. I don't know if the pyramid or only the eye.
Uh huh. Well, the pyramid, only the eye. Like, yeah, like I heard about that. Like, for me, like it started like being very confusing. Like, why does this appear? You know, like on it. So I started to do like research about like how they they built it, and like one of the biggest mysteries is, well, one of the biggest questions that exist is that this is a fact, there exists no depiction of Egyptians building
Mm.
The pyramids. I'm gonna write these facts down here on this. And things are connected. Uh-huh. Just
Yes.
like there's no depiction, as well as like the Aztecs. Same for Aztecs with the pyramids in Mexico. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know this.
Like even in like the like in their own their own writings, the Aztecs say that they came out of caves in Mexico. And my girlfriend told me this, and I was like, "What?" And I had to like research it, and it was like, "It's true." Like that the Aztecs say that came out of caves, you know, like, and we found these pyramids, and we decided to build these temple here, you know, like sorry to build a city here, and like people don't repeat that fact, like versus like in the like you see a lot of like documentaries on History Channel, no, about like ancient aliens and like how they say the aliens built the pyramids, no, or no?
Mhm.
Do you
Yes.
watch? Have you seen those videos?
Some parts of the videos, not
Hmm.
the entire videos.
Yeah, I don't usually watch those videos either because I was like, oh, these guys are crazy, but um, like yeah, like for me, like I was always confused, like it's like how um could they build them now? Because like they're so big in size and stuff like that, and like if you look up into here, for example, it's like mm, there's this channel that I really like called Bright Insight. If you have a chance to write it down, Bright Insight. He's been on Joe Rogan before, and here's his podcast. That was like 3 weeks ago. It's excellent, 2.5 million. Yes, but like he mentions pyramids, like incongruent.
So I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Sorry,
mhm.
my microphone got disconnected. How like, but if you ever have time, this guy like he mentions a lot of the things that like I connected, and yeah, I love his stuff. I subscribed for him for a long time, and he also listened to his Joe Rogan podcast, which is incredible. But um, he just mentions that like a lot of the stuff that they 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 how they described it in your textbook doesn't explain like they didn't have the technology to cut like a lot of these things. For example, they found this sarcophagus here, this giant box in Egypt.
Perfect 90-degree corners, like 100-ton granite boxes. They're insane.
The Serapeum boxes are one of the world's most incredible mysteries. Every aspect of these 24 granite boxes is peculiar and confusing, riddled with anomalies. Discovered in 1850 by French scholar an Egyptologist, Auguste Mariette, within a giant underground necropolis of narrow tunnels in Saqqara, the Serapeum boxes have captured the interest of modern historians, believed to be sarcophagi or coffins for sacred Apis bulls. The precision, perfect angles, mammoth weight, and their underground placement have baffled archaeologists, engineers, and historians. Today's most sophisticated technology and diamond-tipped drills would cower at the mammoth task of achieving the mathematical genius of the Serapeum boxes. How did an ancient Egyptian civilization, armed with copper tools and chisels, manipulate and shape hard granite with such accuracy? How were these 24 giant boxes that weigh 70 to 100 tons each not only transported to the site, but also precisely centered and installed in their notches? Archaeologists theorize that the Serapeum of Saqqara is an ancient Egyptian burial place for sacred bulls of the Apis, which were believed to be incarnations of the god Ptah. But why would Egyptians go through such incredible amounts of effort, manual labor, manipulation, and precise craftsmanship to bury dead bulls, albeit divine? Seems like an overkill. Carved out of giant blocks of granite, the Serapeum granite boxes lie within miles of underground tunnels. With remarkably perfect 90-degree corners in the boxes, ancient craftsmen managed to ensure precise geometry of the walls inside the boxes, even at 11 feet apart. The mathematics involved in building this box is nothing short of phenomenal, and according to in-depth modern calculations, the dimensions deviate by thousandths of an inch, a negligible deviation, one that's almost impossible to recreate. How exactly did ancient Egyptians equipped with iron, bronze, and copper tools manage this level of accuracy? And what is the true historical significance of the Serapeum of Saqqara? Traditional theories by mainstream archaeologists are riddled with plot holes.
Okay, like it just the mysteries just continue with Egypt forever. But like the thing is that to cut that material for that stone is made out of, like you need diamond tools. Yes,
Diamond. Yes,
and
also on that stones are very clean. So
mhm,
you can reach that level of accuracy as video mentioned
mhm,
with my tools.
exactly. So like there's a lot of like stuff that just doesn't make sense, and then I started to like question like how can you like start to
Well,
um like yeah, like how do you build this stuff, like, so I started like questioning like these things, and then I started like looking into things, and basically like that's when I started going into like into Tesla, like, because Tesla started like talking about the same thing, like he started like mentioning that the secrets of the universe, right, like secrets of the universe come down. I gotta get down these topics, like Tesla secrets of the universe. Huh. This quote. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, I found this quote by him. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think of terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And like those things, all of those things, I was like, okay, like what does he mean by that? Like, because I was like talking about like these things with like the how they could move these things and looking into like levitation and stuff like that. And I found this guy that he says that he unlocked the secrets of how they built the pyramids and how Tesla built it. Oh my gosh! Like, oh my, sorry, my water pump is activating again. So that means my neighbors left
Worries.
their bath, the water open, and it's like, but I hate that. That's their problem. But this guy that made the Coral Castle, let's see here. And his story is very interesting here. Let's see here. Let me just find what I have about him here. Do I have it? Coral Castle. Levitation.
Coral Castle is a stone structure built by Latvian-American Edward Leedskalnin in the mid-1900s in Homestead, Florida. It consists of several large stones carved from limestone which was formed from coral. There is a lot of speculation as to how exactly Leedskalnin built this structure. This is partly because Leedskalnin himself was pretty vague when he was asked how he did it. This has led a lot of people to believe that Edward Leedskalnin knew some kind of ancient secret of how to levitate rocks or something similar. There are several points of interest regarding Coral Castle that I will discuss in this video. Number 1. How did Edward Leedskalnin lift, move, and carve such heavy stones? Number 2. What's the deal with this mysterious black box seen in pictures? Number 3. What was the odd-looking circular object that many speculate was a power source for Coral Castle? Number 4. How did he make a large stone door move with the slightest touch? Number 5. What were the numbers inscribed on this stone? And number 6. Why was he so vague about his technique? Let's start with the question, how did Leedskalnin lift the stones? Well, believe it or not, there are actually pictures and even a very recently found little-known short film showing him using a heavy lifting tripod or teepee lift with a block and tackle hand chain hoist to lift the stones. The tripod and hoist method using large logs was a very common method of lifting heavy objects at the time that Leedskalnin built Coral Castle. In fact, this method is still in use today. These days, lifting tripods are still made with logs, but the commercial ones are made with steel or aluminum. The hoists that Leedskalnin is shown using are really typical hand chain hoists, sometimes called a block and tackle or chain fall. And some of the hoists are still in the tool shed at Coral Castle. A chain hoist is operated by hand. An operator will easily pull down on one side of the chain loop. This chain loop is smaller than the actual lifting chain, which is in the middle of the hoist, since the hand chain doesn't actually have to do any lifting. It's only attached to a wheel, which connects to the gear housing. This will turn a pulley mechanism inside the chain hoist housing. When this pulley turns, it will lift up the end of the other, much larger chain, which usually has a hook on the end. I actually used to work at a shop that sold and repaired and even load tested chain hoists, And just by looking at the hoist in these pictures, it has a very large capacity, probably 10 to 30 tons. You can tell by the size of the hook, the large gauge of the chain, and also by the fact that the chain block is tripled at the bottom. This is a method only found in large capacity chain hoists. The pulley at the bottom of the hoist doubles the capacity of the hoist for every chain. In this case, there are 3. It should also be noted that in the pictures of Ed using the tripod, you can see that he's actually using 2 hoists, which would again double the capacity he was able to lift. In the video, you can actually see Ed lifting a 15-ton stone with only 1 hoist. The largest stone at Coral Castle was about 30 tons. Even if we assume that the hoist he was using in the video was only 15 tons, he could have simply added another hoist, as seen in the still pictures, to lift the 30-ton stone. It should be noted, however, that the largest stones at Coral Castle are sitting on the ground and probably didn't need to be lifted off the ground, but rather just stood up on their ends, which means that the full 30-ton capacity wouldn't even be needed. This also explains the box at the top of the tripod, which much has been made about. This box served 2 purposes. It helped to secure the 3 beams of the tripod, and it also contained the shackle with which to attach the chain hoist. With modern metal tripod gantries, the same purpose is achieved by welding a metal plate to the top of the beams, as seen in the picture below. How did Leedskalnin move the stones from the quarry to the site? Here again, we're helped by this amazing new video recently uncovered. In this short film, it shows Leedskalnin using a technique that is used by many machinery movers today. He's using a chain, ratchet, and a system of rollers. This method could easily move even the largest stone at Coral Castle with minimal effort. This is because the capacity of the ratchet pulling the stone only needs to be a fraction of the total weight of the object that it's pulling. How did Edward Leedskalnin carve the stones? The stones that were used to build Coral Castle were made out of a type of limestone formed by coral. This stone was quarried on site, so he never had to move the stones very far. The stone is actually relatively easy to quarry since the particular type of stone was very brittle and therefore easy to chip away from the bedrock. According to James Miller, a tour guide at Coral Castle, after removing the stone from the quarry, it was carved using a chain with teeth, much like a chainsaw blade. The quarrying and carving of the stone is not usually disputed since there's nothing very mysterious about it other than the fact that it would take a great deal of patience. But considering that Leedskalnin worked on the site more or less continually for over 28 years, we can see that, if nothing else, Leedskalnin was a patient man. What was the odd-looking circular object that many people speculate was the power source for Coral Castle? This is actually an AC generator, which worked by attaching copper wire, which has since been removed, to magnets on a flywheel. This is the same basic system used for a modern hand crank-powered radio. Leedskalnin was interested in electromagnetism and built this device as a kind of demonstration. According to a Coral Castle tour guide, Ed would spin the flywheel manually, which would then light up 2 light bulbs. This was all that it powered. There was nowhere to store the electricity, so the light bulbs would go out as soon as Ed stopped the crank. Many people mistakenly believe that this somehow powered the whole site of Coral Castle, but it was essentially just a showpiece that he used when giving tours of the site. And this generator wouldn't have had the ability to power much of anything, even if it was constantly cranked. How did he make a large stone door move with the slightest touch?
Well, like, we'll stop there because like it goes on for a long time. But like, well, but, like, basically, I made the connection that this guy like was using the same like ideas that Tesla was saying that the Egyptians were using electricity. You know, like there's this whole theory of like that the Egyptian tunnels don't have any sort of like let's see here, Egyptian pyramids and soot. They say that there's no because if they didn't have electricity, that there should be evidence that they used torches in the pyramids. But again, going back to the guy that I told you, Bright Insight, he argues that there's no evidence in these tunnels that they used these torches in the past, because when they explored these pyramids, when they opened them, they use gas lamps that didn't produce any of this gas, any of this soot, this black powder in the hallways. So this guy argues that they could have used electric technology. That's why like this depictions of which some people say that it's like, oh, it's just the soul of these people leaving, no, like, but some people say like, oh, it's like the lamps that we use now, because like the modern lamps that we use have like this metal that glows bright and it produces the light, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher, I
Oh,
can hear you.
yes. So like, um, and there's a lot of evidence that in the past they had knowledge of electricity. Have you ever heard of the Baghdad battery?
No, I didn't hear about that.
That's another one that's like, it's the Baghdad battery. And it's this artifact that they found, many artifacts like this that they found, that they found that had like a metal something, a casing, a copper casing, and it was filled with some sort of acid. But in essence, this thing could produce electricity, you know. So they had knowledge. They had some way of using electricity in a thousand, no, more than 2,000 years ago, and this contradicts a lot of like history. Yeah, like science has. They say that it was used to plate gold jewelry, like electroplating, but like, but for me, like, it's evidence to show that they had some knowledge about this.
They have the knowledge of the electricity
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the magnetism.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know, like, what do you think about this, Mister, so far?
I think it's very crazy. I didn't hear about that device, that battery.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's incredible that that kind of device was very ancient,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I think it's crazy.
Um, because I tell you, like, it all begins here. Like I tell you, I bring it back to everything here, because the Egypt, for me, it stands to be the most mysterious place. Um, I like the most mysterious time, the most um, because there's a lot of things that are, they don't want to tell you, they don't want to like explain. Mm, to this day, right now, like I still I still think they're not telling us the truth 100%. Um, and it's like some of the things are very obvious, like going back to Egypt, like how, for example, the Sphinx, like Sphinx, Egypt.
It could be more devices like that battery.
Mm-hmm.
I think uh, uh, they have no que se han encontrado. How do you say?
They have found.
They have found, but uh, 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 they they hadn't uh, show us.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's part of the all the information that they hide to us.
Uh-huh. Like I hope that you're writing down like the stuff because like I'm giving you a lot of information right now, but um you that know about Joe Rogan, and there's this very interesting podcast about let's see here, JRE and the Sphinx. There's this very interesting podcast here. Uh-huh. When you Google like Joe Rogan Experience, JRE and Sphinx, you find out these people talking about this podcast this and this one, and they all mention about this the theory that like, and this, they show the photos, the evidence to show that the um, the erosion that exists on the Sphinx doesn't make sense when you compare the head of the Sphinx compared to the body. Like the erosion doesn't make sense um, because this is exactly what happens to rock, sandstone rock, when it gets exposed to a lot of water. But the erosion here, I think this is reconstruction, but also the erosion here, like from the feet and stuff like that, don't make sense compared to the erosion here. And this is like evidence that there was a lot of erosion, but because this shows better construction, so that means that this was after. So from these experts, from erosion experts, like they mentioned that yeah, like there was a lot of erosion here, but this thing was covered in sand, like the bottom part, yeah, and the head washed away, and more likely the real and because they show different statues in like the different podcasts. Like, where's the complete podcast of this one? Like, the complete podcast of JRE Graham Hancock. One of these ones, but it's like it's a lot of like research into this ones. But it's Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock. That podcast was amazing. Like, but like Sphinx original, it's more than likely like the original shape of the Sphinx is more like, where is it? Like, more likely like this is the original shape of the Sphinx. As an artist, there's more balance to this, like this like aesthetically, you know, like
Lion.
uh-huh. And so there's a lot of things that, because like I mean this doesn't make sense. Like I mean, come on, man. Like what? Versus the this one. No. So there's a lot of stuff that they're not telling us. They're not showing us the truth. And one of them is with the Sphinx. And the next part after I started like investigating about the pyramids, I started looking into Sematics. Do you know? Have you heard that word Sematics before? Sematics.
Right?
Sematics.
Oh, what is that? Right?
And let's see here. Do I have videos about that? Mm-hmm. So they're levitating like liquid here in with sound.
Vibration.
And then like I started like investigating more about like how these, because this is like was something that Tesla was mentioning, you know, like the secret of the universe. You gotta think of terms of frequency, vibration, energy, frequency, and vibration. That's the key word. Like, so this is like one of those key principles that like Tesla was mentioning, like vibration. And then I started like looking more into like I'm just hypnotized by these patterns. I'm sorry, like they just wonderful. No? Like, and then I started like researching more and into these weird topics. You know, like for example, I was watching the different patterns that people were making with the. I haven't seen that one actually. This one, like I saw it 11 years ago. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of vibration. So when I realized this is like I realized that everything is interconnected, and that sound behaves like it modifies our environment, like this frequency does. And well, like then I jumped into like these experiments, these particle experiments. Let's see here if I can find it. It's in my list. Where is it? How come that should be a list? Let me see it. Let's see it. Let's see here. Right. Frequency. Particle. I don't know my TikTok saved. Particle experiment. Um, so this one, no. Because like I had it saved in another list, but like I had it saved in another. Oh, this one.
Factual evidence.
It's not.
The human vibrational energy.
It's a different experiment, but it's the same concept. Like he, these experiments were conducted on water, the water experiments. But when I realized like humans are 70% water, we're 70% this. So
Yes.
words had a 70% effect on like the vibrations of the universe had effect on us at this point. And like this video for me, like it's still one of my favorite videos. Like, I want you to watch it.
This next series of photographs are the work of Japanese researcher Mr. Masaru Emoto from his book, The Message from Water. Mr. Emoto's work provides factual evidence that human vibrational energy, thoughts, words, ideas, and music affect the molecular structure of water. Please remember that water comprises over 70% of a mature human body and covers the same amount on our planet. Water is the very source of all life. This photo shows the beautifully formed geometric design of the Yushi Spring water. This next photo is from the Shimanto River, the last green spring in Japan. Notice the extraordinary geometric forms. The fact that the molecular structure of water can be affected by our consciousness, our intent, and our sounds is extremely important. This photo is from the Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand. Mr. Emoto has been visually documenting these molecular changes in water by means of his photographic techniques. He freezes droplets of water, then examines them under a dark field microscope that has photographic capabilities. His work clearly demonstrates the diversity of the molecular structure of water and the effects of the environment upon the structure of the water. This photo is from the fountain in Lourdes, France. This photo is from contaminated water in the Yodo River in Japan. In this photo, we can compare the contaminated water with clean stream water. Look at the difference. Mr. Emoto decided to see what effects music would have upon the structure of water. He placed distilled water between two speakers for several hours while playing different music and then photographing the crystals that formed after the water was frozen. This photo is of water being exposed to Beethoven's Pastorale. This photo is the effect of Bach's Air for the G string on the water. This photo is water exposed to Chopin's Farewell Song. This next photo is water being exposed and affected to music that was designed for healing. This photo is of water being exposed to the Kawachi folk dance. This photo shows the effect of heavy metal music upon the water. Here now we can compare the effects of healing versus heavy metal music and what happens to the water molecules. Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words, "Thank you." This next photo shows the effects of the words love and appreciation. This photo shows the effects of the words, you make me sick, I will kill you. And here we can compare the effects of thank you with the you make me sick, I will kill you. Very, very different geometric forms being incurred through the intention. Now this photo is of a very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it. Prayer, that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry. And in this photo we can compare toxic water and then the effects of praying over the water.
What do you think about this, Mr.? I'm doing a lot of talking.
Really amazing. That experiment with water, and that you mentioned that we are 7% water, we constantly are exposed to many different frequencies, and the most of the time that 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 um, that frequencies goes unnoticed
Mm-hmm.
by us, and we didn't know the the effects that they have on us. It's, I don't know, it's really amazing.
No, Mr. I'm trying to find that exact video that I'm telling you about because, like, just like this one, there's another video that exists on in that just can't find in the huge ocean that exists in TikTok, on YouTube and TikTok. Like, I sent it to another student. Let me see if I can find it quickly. About, oh man, this experiment, because and it's another one that I should show you about because it's, oh man, like. Where is it? Because in this video, like it mentions that like it oh man. Now, who did I send it to? Like there. And in this video, like the just the clips that he shows are let's see here if I can find it on TikTok, because TikTok doesn't censor that much. I think, let's see here. Frequency, particles, vibration, experiment. So you gotta see it to understand what I'm talking about, because if I just explain it, it doesn't click. Hold on, where is it? because it was like it was a documentary. Um, let me cymatics. Yeah, this one. And you gotta watch the forms that appear when they use these particles, like
Space came a sound, and matter took shape. Please watch carefully.
I gotta like save this video because like
We can also use different shapes of plate. Here we have a triangular plate with a crystal attached to its underside.
this is one of my favorite videos.
A sonorous figure. We change to a higher note and see a rather more complicated figure.
I think it's like how the universe was created through different frequencies.
But what material is this sand?
This is like I think sand or salt, like just a particle. Like imagine like they're just particles. It's the sand is a representation of atoms in the universe. Like because that's what essentially everything is made out of, like atoms. Like and this frequency affects everything. But all the shapes that it can create using these frequencies are the structures of like a lot of organic things like plants or cells or like just a lot of organic things in the universe. Fungus.
This more elaborate figure, likewise on a steel plate, is also produced by vibration. The exciting crystal
It's a
is
firefly.
attached to the upper corner of the plate. We use sand and lycopodium.
Sand like
The lycopodium moves to the center of the field and takes up circular shapes. The sand forms the lines. Each material has its own special way of behaving.
that's important. Like each material like behaves differently because of the frequency. So they aligns in an order, a specific order.
Lycopodium alone, a sonorous figure,
Everything, the patterns.
transition to a mobile flowing
Ding,
phase,
ding.
and back again to the figure. The sonorous figures represent stationary waves, but now we can also observe moving waves. Here, the sand is flowing in a current. When the wavelengths are short, these currents produce a rotary effect. Areas become defined in which the particles are actually rotating.
And then they look like galaxies here. And then when I was like, what? Like that's galaxies. So there's some thing that like programs the universe to behave in a specific way. And if everything goes along how it's supposed to be, then like that's strange for me. Like it's like, oh man, like the video goes on for a long time, Mister. I'll link you this video to watch it because like honestly I'm gonna watch it again closely because I haven't watched this video in a long time. Maybe like 7 years, no, last 6. But when I watch this video, I told you like, I'll tell you like, I had so many weird conversations with my ex-girlfriend because it made me like reflect on like um, in reality itself, because I was like, this is like, because I had a teacher there like when I was working, and when I told him this, he told me that his brother was like an astrophysicist, and he told me when they recorded like the stuff in the in the universe in space. They had like a microphone. They were recording like the sound of the universe, and he said that there was like this hum, this frequency hum in the background that they couldn't remove. Like it was always like this sound, like and that's essentially like the hum of the universe. Uh, so there's like this frequency, this vibration that exists that his brother says can be recorded. That this little frequency that exists in the universe, and I think that basically, I think that frequency that exists in the universe is that thing that holds everything together. That the like according to like the videos, that's the particles are suspended in space. No, like they can be moved through frequency, and like, because for me, like when I saw like these particles of like moving, that looks exactly like galaxies, like in the animations.
Like let's.
And you should watch the video, miss the rest of the videos, because it's a long documentary. Like you see rivers, you see like land formations being formed perfectly, and for me that's just it it explains so much. And yeah, like it really changed my perspective, because it made me understand what Tesla meant, because it's adding up like what he meant about like vibration, because it how like it really clicked, like a lot of the stuff that I was looking into, and because the universe is behaving in strange ways, but also like ways that make you believe in something incredible. Because I tell you right now there seems to be a very ignorant battle happening, where people, just because they think it's science fiction, it sounds like science fiction, that it's not real, like things don't behave like that, or like, you know what I mean, like the
It sounds very crazy, but
mm-hmm,
it's the reality.
mm-hmm. Like they there's a lot of arrogance, that they believe that there's no intelligent design in the universe, that there's no God and stuff like that. But from what I'm seeing from these experiments and what they do, what I'm seeing is that there is like some sort of like intelligent design in the universe. And like right now we're getting into some crazy territory, mister. Like, I don't know what to believe anymore, honestly. What do you believe? What have you seen that I've shown you, that like, what questions do you have, or like what do you, what ideas did you get? I don't know. Tell me what you believe. It's just me talking here.
Right now, with all the recent events. Uh, Today I hear a theory of uh, police investigator
Uh-huh.
that uh, he says that the next step of well it's with the topic of the, the aliens, the UFOs,
Uh-huh.
that the next step for uh, the elite that controls the world is uh, how do you say if
Huh?
pretends pretends an alien invasion.
That's what I told you, Project Blue Book.
Uh, the blue the project Blue Lock or Blue Beam.
Project Blue Book. Blue Beam is something. Sorry, Project Blue Beam. No, Blue Book is something different. Yeah, you're right. Project Blue Beam. Uh huh.
Before the uh, the New World Order, and I mentioned it's something something very logical because I didn't think until now that the humanity has an uh, a common enemy.
Uh huh.
At the end, all the nations uh, will be united or fight that enemy.
Mister, this idea is older
And
than you are. Like,
yes,
listen to Ronald Reagan. Do you know Ronald Reagan, the president of the United States?
yes,
Like that speech about like aliens. Like,
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the
he
moment,
said it 3 times. So this
we
is
often
3
forget
different
how much
speeches.
unites
uh,
all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, you know, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet, wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all?
It's like three times. Three times he said this. And it's happening right now. I'm seeing it in the news. So that's why I tell you, like, everything seems to be connected. Everything's
Yes.
happening for a reason. And oof.
Think right now that words of Ronald Reagan makes the perfect sense with all the recent events and maybe with the events in the future. It's very scary.
Yeah, but like it kind of like makes me like angry that like other podcasts are talking about this topic that I've been like like that I've been hearing about for a long time, and like man, I could have been talking about this thing for a long time and gotten the YouTube money, you know, because it's it, it's kind of crazy what's happening right now. It's stuff that they're mentioning. They have been mentioning for years, like because again, it's super obvious. It's hard to try to get people. It's so I don't know if it's like some sort of operation by the government in the comments to make people comment. These are bots commenting that they like, oh, I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if those people are real or not. Because if you did any sort of investigation in this world, like you can find videos from 15 years ago, 11 years ago, because I was watching them this morning, about people explaining what sounds like exactly what's happening right now. They're saying that the government will try to fabricate this alien invasion. But the weird part is, I tell you, mister, like we'll discuss it next class, next podcast, I'll say. This connection that exists between the religious part and this UFO thing, because there's a lot of connection. Right now we just discussed Egypt, and it's weird how the weird technology that exists around building it, and but it's not even the surface, mister, because we just discussed some things, and then I went out about vibration, but like there exist really weird connections. The fact that they took a lot of the artifacts that exist in Egypt and moved them in different parts, or they recreated some of the same architecture around the world. We didn't discuss the weird things that Tesla said about how he believes that the pyramid is a giant generator. Atlantis, the other different pyramids that exist in Egypt, or sorry, around Africa. The Chinese pyramids. Do you know about the Chinese pyramids?
Well, I didn't know
Oh,
about it.
exactly. That's another one. Like, oh my gosh, like, what else? The possible pyramids or ruins that existed in the United States that were hidden, supposedly. The pyramid in Antarctica. Do you know about that one?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That one I know about that.
that one. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we're a step ahead. Um, what else with Egypt? Egypt. Like, let's just only Egypt. Like, there's other like pyramids or like ancient structures, weird temples that exist that for me, like, no explanation. Or
like the Indian temple that you showed me before.
with the how what did it show
I
you?
think it, I think it's an Indian temple. I don't remember
Uh
the
huh.
name.
But like, I
It,
don't know. I didn't tell you the name. I
uh,
think because I don't even know the name.
it's a giant stone. I remember.
Like it's one stone, right? It's like one piece, and it's like lit.
Uh,
And for me, like, I think that was like done with lasers. Like it had to be done, or something, because like that precision was not done by human hands, honestly. Like, and that's another one. And there's a multitude of temples like that. Also, like in Indonesia, a bunch of temples that exist. Um, the tools that exist there. What else do I have to like tell you about the ancient world? Well, like there's also like the giant stones that exist. That there's also like a podcast, a giant monolith slab that exists in in Italy. There's like that podcast that I told you about, like with Joe Rogan. That there's a whole like a, a lot of information that exists about these slabs that are in these temples that could not have been moved right now with modern technology. And there's another one here that, again, that science says that technology has no way of moving these things now. So there's a lot of things in the past that cannot be explained right now with modern science, but like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
there is a lot. There are a lot of topics, and of some way or another, there are there exists a connection in them.
Like, I see a connection. I see it like I see it clearly right now, but it's hard to try to like project it onto you, Mister, because again the connections just keep happening. For me, I'm gonna sound crazy right off, like from the start, um, because I tell you, there seems to be a super war happening right now. I can't deny it. I can't tell you that it's not. And I can tell you like that it's not real because I see it happening. There's a clear war between good and evil. Like that's what it seems like. Good and evil. I just can't deny it anymore. Like angels and demons. That's what it seems like. As scientific as I want to be, what I'm seeing in the government, what I'm seeing from the documents that people are releasing, Mister, like there seems to be a clear war between like demons and angels. Um, Spiritual and supernatural. Like it's there's no other way to deny it. And like I don't know, like I don't know seriously what's going on, Mister, because it's there's stuff that I never imagined is being talked about right now, right? Like they're talking about good aliens, That's crazy. Like, good aliens versus bad aliens, good and evil, demons, angels, and stuff. That's why I tell you, like, this is just the beginning. Like, I'm just at the beginning because it's
I agree with that.
like
It's only the beginning, the top of
iceberg.
the iceberg.
Yes, top of the iceberg because like I don't know what else they're gonna tell us because everything that is happening right now, there's some sort of like weird thing that I heard about in the past that makes a connection to this, and I don't know where we're gonna go. Like you mentioned Project Bluebeam, and in Project Bluebeam, they mentioned that they will try to fabricate a return of a false return of the Messiah. And by definition, that has already happened, you know, like, and we are already in that time right now. Like, we are already in the, essentially, like, in these weird moments. Like it sounds weird, but like, like, I don't know what to say, mister, because right now I'm seeing the stuff that you're learning about now, like, happening before my eyes. And they said this was gonna happen a long time ago, and it's happening right now as we speak. So right now, I don't even know what to tell you about this situation because it's happening as we speak. I'm so confused about what is going on. Every day something new happens that like changes the situation. So like this is TBD. Do you know TBD? TBD, do you know? This is to be determined. It's an expression that I use. TBD.
TBD. Kicking ass! TBD! Third thing here!
Installment 1 of TBD.
Love watching a TBD turn into a gate now. Hey, Joseph, can I just move?
Yeah.
TBD list, is that?
7th time?
So this is gonna be on our TBD list, mister. So yeah, I think we'll pause it here, mister, because like again we started with like the pyramids and then we went on to vibration. I'll show you all that stuff. And that basically like in my conclusion is like we are all working on a frequency. And this frequency of the universe basically like it already determines like what the path of the universe is, you know, like, and I don't know how to describe it, like, but no, that's not my conclusion here, like, because I'm from that, because I'm taking the information that I had in that point and I'm comparing to now, and it's like right now I'm in a weird state because right now like I am into the multiverse thing, and like basically like we are like there's some intelligent design behind the universe, but like right now we are going into some weird multiple possible reality universe. And yeah, like there's a lot of possibilities of where we're gonna go. Yeah, so where do you see, final question, where do you see the future going? Like, based on like that stuff happening in the news right now, what future do you see for us?
I want to, I would like to be
Optimistic?
optimistic, very optimistic, but with all the events that are happening right now and uh, prophecies that I hear about the next year. I don't know. I think the next year, the 2025, it could be the how do you say uh, piedra angular?
The what? Sorry.
La piedra angular.
Piedra angular. I don't know the
It's
expression.
it's like an an after and before, un antes y un después. Como que esto va a marcar un antes y un después.
Maybe stepping
Eso
stone
se
is
le
the
llama
expression. Stepping stone.
stepping stone.
Let me go that here in the stepping stone. Or the keystone? I don't know. Let's see. Don't forget that dot. Let's see. No, that's something negative. Stepping stone.
Thank you. Not a stepping stone anymore.
Think of it more as a stepping stone.
Yeah, the stepping stone.
Some light catalog work, but really modeling is just a stepping stone to acting.
But I will also offer him a stepping stone to the world.
You're here because you think this job is a stepping stone to a
What expression did you say?
La piedra angular.
And what does it mean?
It means that something marks an a before and after.
Yeah.
So,
It can be used in this context of that.
something.
Or a mark stone. A mark stone. Or a keystone. Keystone. Let me see. Mark stone?
Mark stone?
Stone. Let me see if it goes mark stone. A keystone.
Marriage is just the keystone to economics.
Keystone. I would use that definition. But yeah.
This coming from.
I think the next year it would be the keystone for that for this era.
It could be. It could be.
It would be a very interesting.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. But this is a good beginning. A good beginning to the first part, Mister. I gave you a lot of introduction stuff that I saw, that I've seen before, but let's see here. I don't know. Any final thoughts, Mister, for the first part?
I want to I want to start to investigate about uh, more of Nikola Tesla because I think he has a lot of secrets, a lot of mysteries that we 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 can will use.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yes, I, it's interesting that for him there are 15 principles of the universe, and now one of the things that I know, I think he has an obsession with the combination of numbers 369. He he said that that combination of numbers are the key of the universe. Oh,
Again, we're talking about here energy, frequency, vibration.
I don't know. I think I need to research to investigate about that.
Definitely, Mister. Like, tell me like what you know, what you investigate about him, because like I tell you, like we he was into some real things, like some real like. There's technology we still use today, like the radio that was made by him, and AC, DC power. But like the more that you investigate about him and the whole battle with Edison and how Edison is like people, everybody knows about Edison, about the light bulb and stuff like that. But when you research about like his connection with Tesla and his relationship that he didn't like him, you know, like, and like you start seeing the stuff that he met, the connections that exist now. Um, Definitely like no research his connection with like the Trump family. There's a connection with the Trump family and Tesla that you will like you would be shocked, and especially because like Tesla was talking about time travel when he died, teleportation, levitation, all of these crazy science fiction things, death rays, and just the fact that like again Musk uses his name now and his connection with like it's just all connect. I just can go on connecting these things, and the fact with Trump right now, like for me, like ah man, there's a lot of stuff with like time travel with like yeah. We'll save it for the next class, Mister. The next session, because I really have to go to the bathroom right now. Yes, but this was a good session. A good first part, Mister. Like, watch those videos that I told you, that I sent to you, because like they're gonna bring a lot of questions. They're gonna bring a lot of like. Well, I'm gonna ask you a lot of things about it because it really like makes you question about reality itself. You know, I start thinking about words and like
We'll watch.
language. Huh. It's good that I found them because like
Watch them this weekend.
I haven't seen them in a long time either because like it's been a long time and a lot of things have changed since then. I'm watching a lot of things in the past right now with different eyes because a lot of things have changed for me, and so that's homework for you. All right?
Okay, teacher.
Any questions?
And I will watch the videos this weekend to discuss the next class.
Um, any other questions, Mister?
For now, I think not.
No. All right.
No other.
Well, and I love talking, Mister, about this topic. Well, if you have anywhere like videos like this, like I showed you, like send it to me, Mister, because I want to see other people's ideas because, like right now, the world is stranger than I ever imagined. You know. All right.
Very strange.
What are your plans this weekend?
I will share with you how.
Please.
My plans for this weekend. This weekend, I don't know. I think I might take some time. I will take some time to research about a couple of topics. Only that. Because as you mentioned before, now that I watched more videos on TikTok, that videos sparked my curiosity.
Spark my curiosity. Nice. Using the expressions like touch you. I love it. You know, like we are now. We are in the weirdest times right now because stuff that I was researching is now being talked about in the past, and like my girlfriend used to call me crazy about these topics, but now it's in the news, and it's very interesting times, but like also scary times because from all of this research, my final conclusion is it's not a good one, and well, I don't know. It depends on your perspective, but like from what I see from like those videos that I sent you is that there is some sort of like intelligent design of the universe. And I don't know, like it makes me hopeful because like also it shows that we do have a measurable effect on the universe. Like these experiments with vibration, I didn't talk to you about it, but like there's also the rice experiments. I'll leave this.
I did.
Did we talk about those, the rice experiments?
You mentioned a couple of classes ago,
Uh-huh.
that experiment. Uh,
Uh-huh. So,
you could show with me
mm-hmm.
the video of the experiment.
Mm-hmm. And so this is like connecting everything to like what I showed you before, like these experiments have a measurable effect that people have experimented in all over the world, and they keep happening over and over again, so that we do have a measurable effect on the universe. And like for me, like that's so interesting. Like I'm still like trying to understand like why do we have such an effect on the universe. So it's another mystery that we have. All right, mister. I'll let you get some rest because you're still sick, I think. I don't want to keep you here
Yes.
forever. And
Yes, but better than days before.
better than before. So we'll put a pause here and we'll continue discussing about these weird topics in the next session. All right?
Okay, teacher.
You get some good rests.
Sure.
See you in the future. All right?
See you, teacher.
Take care.
Here.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.